Republican Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina joins us now. Senator Graham, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Thank you.
Well, Senator, you and I have been together on many a Sunday. I wish the circumstances were different this Sunday. I know that you are not just an ally of former President Trump. He is one of your friends. I know you're hoping to speak to him soon. What will your message be once you are able to connect with the former president?
I'm grateful you weren't hurt any worse, and I love you. You know, we're supposed to play golf this morning at 8:30. I talked to him 3 times this week. There's a lot going on in the world. He was excited about playing golf. He thought he had something that could help my swing. All I can say is he's got 5 children and 5 grandchildren. He's a human being. There are a lot of people love this man. He's one of the most strong people I've ever met. He has an ability to absorb punishment like anybody I've ever met. Obviously, God is not through with President Trump, and I look forward to seeing him later this morning. I'll let you know how he's doing. But for the country, we probably need to do some soul searching as a nation.
Well, I want to follow up with you on that point, Senator. I can see the emotion in your eyes and I can hear it in your voice. Can you tell us what your initial reaction was when you witnessed what happened, when you learned what had happened, when you understood that he came, quite frankly, within inches? If his head had turned in either direction, this could be a different conversation today, Senator.
I wish I could say I was surprised, but I've been worried about this for a very, very long time. You know, if he wins, democracy's not going to end. He's not a fascist. He represents a point of view that millions share. The rhetoric is way too hot, but I was just grateful that he made it. I mean, fate stepped in, God, the hand of God, call it whatever you like. But let's don't forget, there's a man who lost his life by attending a political rally. He's dead. His life came to end. Other people are hurt. Who to blame? Let's blame the shooter, but let's all try to do better. I can tell you one thing about President Trump. He is very determined to get this country back on track, and his initial reaction after being shot will be an iconic moment in American history. Literally bleeding from a gunshot wound, he raised his fist. Don't give up, keep going.
Senator, there's a lot we could say and discuss about political rhetoric. I want to ask you very specifically about some of the responses we've seen and just get your reaction. Senator J.D. Vance, as you know, a potential VP nominee, said in the wake of the shooting, quote, "Today is not just some isolated incident. The central premise of the Biden campaign is that President Donald Trump is an authoritarian fascist who must be stopped at all costs." That rhetoric led directly to President Trump's attempted assassination. Another Republican Congressman, Mike Collins, said, quote, "Joe Biden sent the orders." I just want to get your take, Senator, because you are talking about where this country needs to go. Do you think, and do you have concerns that that type of rhetoric, drawing those conclusions so immediately, could only fuel this moment and the tensions?
Well, there's a lot of frustration on our side about the way President Trump has been treated, but I'm just grateful today that he's alive. I mourn for the man who didn't make it, and, you know, we'll have a chance here to talk about, you know, what's best for America, but let's just today be grateful that our former president, political nominee, survived an assassination attempt, and I'll try to do better here. I don't want to go down that road right now.
Fair enough, Senator. I do want to ask you because you, myself, so many others are about to head to Milwaukee for the Republican National Convention, where Donald Trump will officially become the Republican nominee. And here we are in the middle of this 2024 election cycle. How do you think this moment, this horrific act of political violence, how will this impact the campaign more broadly?
You know, it's a very, very hard to say. I think President Trump, I'll talk to him later in the day, is determined to stay on schedule. He needs to pick a vice president. You know, today underscores why that's an important pick. He wants somebody that is ready on day one and can help him win, that can grow the map. I think the Republican base adores President Trump. There's going to be a lot of love come his way. But I'm glad to see my Democratic colleagues are saying really good things. And, you know, this is a moment where America's been traumatized, and it's good to see. I'm glad President Biden called him. There'll be plenty of time to talk about politics, but today we just all need to be grateful and mindful of how dangerous, how could this happen? How could somebody get within 130 yards of the president with a rifle? His Secret Service team around him, his personal team, are the great Americans who are very brave. But what I thought of when he got up and raised his fist and bleeding was Teddy Roosevelt. This is the toughest guy I think I ever met. He's the modern version of Teddy Roosevelt, and it's just an amazing thing to be his friend and in his orbit, and I look forward to seeing him here soon.
Well, Senator Lindsey Graham, we really appreciate your joining us. Again, our thoughts are with everyone who was injured, and as you so rightfully and importantly point out, the life that was lost yesterday that we mourn as a nation for. So thank you for all of your comments this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.